Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be my eyeshadow palette monthly recap. This is my first time doing this video, but I did a video, I think it was a month or two ago, talking about eyeshadow palettes that I wish I used more. I have a large eyeshadow palette collection, over 100 palettes, and I just want to make sure I'm rotating through my eyeshadow palettes and using them. And so what I started to do at the beginning of the month is every time I used a palette, I wrote it down, took a picture of the look. So yeah, today I'm just gonna show you the looks, tell you about the palettes that I used in the last month. Hopefully I'll continue to do this video. Let me know if you enjoy it. And yeah, and if you like eyeshadow palette videos, check out my eyeshadow palette playlist because I have a lot there. Let's get started. I didn't do any full looks with this palette, but I just have to mention it, even though this is so basic. I did talk about this in my Project 100 Uses update. This cream shade here in the Smoky Eyes Are Forever by Charlotte Tilbury palette is what I've been using every single day to set my eye primer. And that sounds so silly, but that's an important step for me, and I have found it very useful. Okay, let's talk about, so I used these quads. These I got in PR from ColourPop. I'll start with the one that I'm wearing today, and the look I'm wearing today, I've actually done this look several times because I love it so much. This quad is the Sure Thing quad, and it is so pretty. Peachy pinks, lovely. I love today's eye look. Like I said, I did this eye look a few different times, and it is fantastic. Next up is this quad, and this, I did film a look on this, and I reviewed the quads in that video, so you can check that out, and this one is so pretty. This one is called Wait and See. I love the look that I did with this. These blues are absolutely gorgeous. The other two, this one I actually don't think I have a picture of a look with, but this is a simple brown one. It is Beachy Keen. This one is really good as well. And then the other one that I love the most is this coppery one called Shellbound. Yeah, really pretty. So I think my favorite are this one that is Shellbound and Sure Thing, the one I'm wearing today. These two are definitely my favorite. I love these colors. The quality is fantastic, so those were great. Let me go ahead and talk about the one palette that I did buy this month, and that is this Wet n Wild Color Icon palette in Heart and Soul. I've heard Emily Noel talking about these palettes, so I decided I wanted to buy one, and here it is. It is so pretty, pinks and burgundies. Now, this is so difficult to open. That's why I'm not even trying to open this right now. I have broken like multiple nails trying to get this open, and I already like peeled all the stuff off. It's just something about this clasp here is so hard to open, so I don't even want to try. So that's the only frustrating thing about it. I did a look where I put this shade all over the lid and then these two in the crease, and it is so pretty. This color is amazing. I am very impressed by this formula. It's fantastic. And then another pretty eye look I did was these mattes in the crease, this one in the outer corner, and then I layered these three shimmers together all across the lid, and really beautiful. I'm impressed. Only palette I bought this month. It's lovely. So some of these palettes I did multiple looks with, and then others I only used once. This I only used once, and that is my Makeup Geek Single Shadows. And I really do enjoy the look that I did. I used the green shade all over the lid and then some of the mattes in the crease and outer corner, and it was a really nice look. I love these Makeup Geek singles. They're fantastic. I need to use them more. In general, I tend to neglect my single shadows, so honestly, I'm at least glad that I used those once. And then speaking of single shadows, I did put together this little combo here that is kind of my version of the Anastasia Nouveau palette. And I did a whole Shop My Stash dupes video with that. I'll link it in the cards if you didn't see it. I talk about all of these eyeshadows in there, and I did film this look that I'm gonna show you, and I love how it turned out. I think it is fantastic. A lot of these are discontinued single shadows from Coastal Scents, Davina, and ColourPop, but again, I tend to neglect my single shadows, so yeah. And this is actually gonna be in my Shop My Stash, so I wanna do more looks with that. And you know, it's gonna be repeat palettes from month to month. I want to try to rotate through them, but there's definitely going to be some repeat palettes. So we'll see. I thought this would be fun to recap, and it's also a way for me to track which palettes I'm using. I did 2 looks with the Natasha Denona Safari palette, and I really enjoy this one, and I really love the looks. So when I use this palette, I usually just use a couple shades and do a simple look. And one look that I did, I loved, I think I did wear this in a couple videos, this purple all over the lid and the crease, and then this pink in the crease. That was it, and it was so easy, and I loved it. And then, whoops, I also did a look with this shade all over the lid and then this one in the crease. I'm trying to remember if I have a picture of that. Hopefully I still do. I may have accidentally deleted some of the pictures off my phone, but I love this palette. It's so good. I want to get more use out of it. It's great. This palette I only used once. That is the Sigma Untamed, but I really enjoy the look, and I used this green all over the lid and then some of these mattes in the crease. This green shimmer is so beautiful, and yeah, loved that look too. I mean, honestly, I actually really liked all the looks that I did this month for the most part. There was one that I wish had turned out better. I'll get to that one. This I thought I would just include because I did technically use this shade on the inner corner for that look with the single shadows where I was trying to dupe the Anastasia Nouveau palette, and I talked about it in that video, but I didn't really use the rest of the palette, but I guess technically I used it. This palette I did one look with, and it was super simple. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize palette. And this was on a day when I was in a huge hurry, and I just combined this pink shimmer here with this pink shimmer here all over the lid and in the crease, and that was the whole look. And actually it was really pretty. I don't usually do all shimmer looks like that. I'm more likely to do a quick in a hurry all matte look, but this was actually really pretty, and I gotta say I enjoyed it, so I want to try some more looks like that. I used the Glam palette once, and it's so pretty. I really enjoy this eyeshadow look. So here I try to do a more smoky look with these mattes in the crease and then this one all over the lid, and I really enjoyed it. So now this palette, I do have a usage goal on this in a project pan, so I am going to be trying to get more use out of it. But yeah, in this last month, I only used it that one time. Another palette that I only used once is the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. And I was wearing this makeup in a couple videos that I filmed, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. This shimmer was like in the center of the lid, and then this gold was on like the inner part of the lid and the inner corner. And then I combined it with mattes from the next palette that I'm going to talk about. I don't love the quality of the matte eyeshadows in this palette, but I love the shimmers so much. So that's why I keep it around, and I want to get more use out of those shimmers. But honestly, I don't even like the mattes in that palette, so I'm just like not even going to use them. I'm just going to use the shimmers and then pull mattes from other palettes. So the Switzerland palette from BH Cosmetics, I used this one several times. And so the one that I did with the Magic palette, the mattes were from this palette. So I used these purples here, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed how it turned out. And the makeup I was wearing in a couple videos, you guys complimented me on so much that was using this palette. And I have to say, I really do enjoy how it turned out. And it was super simple. I had this matte black all over the lid, and then this dark brown kind of blending up into this shade. So it was kind of an all matte look using these 3 shades as a gradient. And wow, this palette is fantastic. The quality is amazing. Absolutely loved it. And then another one I have to show you, I feel like the lighting in this picture was really bad, but I used these two mattes and then this shimmer on the lid, and it was super pretty. This palette is amazing. I love the BH formula, and they are going to be coming out with new palettes, and I do want to try them. I hope they've maintained this formula. Seriously, I bought this palette earlier this year at TJ Maxx for like $7, and it's so good. This is becoming one of my favorite palettes ever because the quality is amazing and the color selection is fantastic. I just feel like there's so much variety in here. Oh, amazing. This is so good. So good. Loved it. Now, the 3 palettes that were in my shop, my stash, I already showed these pictures in that video, so I don't want to be overly repetitive. But I did use the gold palette a few times, and my absolute favorite makeup that I wore was using this duochrome with this one, and it turned green. It's so pretty. And then one day when I was in a major hurry, I just combined these mattes all over the lid and in the crease, and it was super easy. And that is what I tend to do when I'm in a hurry. I will just take like 1 or 2 eyeshadows and just slap them everywhere and call it a day. But yeah, enjoyed using this palette. That was in my shop, my stash. Also, this was in my shop, my stash, the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. And this makeup that I wore, I really liked how this one turned out. Super like smoky brown eye, and yeah, that was great. And then I did a couple makeup looks using the Saga of Freya Chapter 2 Cat with the Golden Carriage palette. Such a long name for a palette. And yeah, I showed these pictures as well in my shop, my stash. But my absolute favorite one was just combining these 2 colors, and it was so pretty. And I did wear that in a video. And then I also did another look using this one, and then I think this shimmer on the lid. And yeah, this one's great. This is becoming one of my favorite Odin's Eye palettes. Now, as I've been mentioning, I have really enjoyed these palettes. I love how everything turned out. But the day I wore this palette, it didn't turn out the way I intended it to be, and it's not the palette's fault because this is such a good palette. This is the Viseart Warm Mattes. The quality is amazing. They blend like a dream. I was just kind of experimenting, and I just don't think it turned out kind of like I wanted it to. So basically what I did was combined like several of these matte browns all over the lid and in the crease, super easy, blended that out. And then I kind of tried to use this red as a liner, and I don't know, I feel like it just looked a little bit weird. I don't know. I think maybe a more talented person could have achieved this better than I did, but it just didn't really quite turn out how I envisioned it. So yeah, I don't know. It almost just looks like there's like a weird like red line on my face. I don't know. It almost looks like I'm kind of sick or something. It didn't turn out as well as I hoped, but that's not the Viseart palette's fault. It is absolutely amazing. And then last up, I only used this palette once. That is the Melt Gemini 2. However, wow, was this one beautiful. So I just combined a lot of these different mattes together, like use the lighter ones on the lid and then use these in the crease and then the darker 2 in the outer corner. And I mean, this eyeshadow was so stunning. I mean, this one may be top 5 of the month. I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, if I had to like pick my absolute favorites, the all matte look with this one was amazing. Same with the Switzerland palette. Really enjoyed the all matte look that I did with that palette. Also, the makeup looks with this Wet n Wild really surprised me. I'm really excited that I bought this. So yeah, that is it for this video. I thought it would be fun to do, sharing literally all the makeup that I wore for the last month. And yeah, I thought this would be fun. So let me know what you think. And if you want to see more palette videos, check out my eyeshadow palette playlist. And yeah, so for now, I'll plan on continuing doing this. I thought it was fun, and it's also a way for me to stay accountable that I'm actually using my eyeshadow palette. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.